welcome back to Let's 3-Heart the Minish Cap. There's one more video after all. The language option, you might remember, was not here before on the file select screen in my videos. This is the European version of the game. There's a reason I'm doing this, which I'll just explain as we go. The European version of the game is a bit of an oddity as far as games go, in that, well, for one thing, it came out first. And I mean first. Like, this version of the game came out before the Japanese version of the game even came out. And make no mistake, it is a Japan-developed game. Yet it came out in Europe first. This is very strange. I guess they finished the translation before, like, from what I heard basically, they finished the translation for the European version before the Japan devs were even actually completely finished, like, hunting for bugs and testing that stuff out. Another thing is that in the US version and Japanese versions, they rebalanced the very end of the game here, starting from this fight. The first difference, and this is why I'm redoing this, because two people who finished the challenge I issued on the forums finished it with the European version. They were the first to finish it. Well, like, technically I finished first, but I didn't finish posting my run first before they did. And, they were using the European version, and I finished watching it today, and I saw that, I saw some changes that make it a lot harder for a 3-heart run. So, the first change is that in this fight, there are no pots. You can't heal during this fight like you can in the US version, so... And I know in my run of the boss, I remember distinctly, you know, I didn't heal during this fight, but I did heal up after it, and before I started fighting Vati 1, so... Yeah, So yeah, there are some changes like that in this game. There aren't any other changes I know of, really, that make it more difficult in a typical gameplay sense. But there are some glitches and things in the European version. There's actually a patch for the European version that someone put out that you can apply to the ROM with, like, Lunar IPS that fixes a few of these issues. The 3 issues it fixes, the final bomb bag upgrade in the shop, normally you can buy it after you've purchased, like, the boomerang and stuff. In this game, in the European version, it doesn't show up normally because it's glitched. It will never show up. So you need that patch to be able to actually get the final bomb bag upgrade. Another glitch is there's a guy named Amy in Hyrule Field, like, near Lon Lon Ranch, that you can do a Kinstone fusion with. In the European version, if you go to do a Kinstone fusion with him, you go to that screen, like, you press L facing him, but then you cancel the fusion, and then you leave the area. When you come back, you cannot fuse with him anymore, and you are permanently locked out of ever completing the Kinstone side quest. Kind of a nasty glitch there, and could very easily happen if you go to fuse with him and then you, like, don't have the proper Kinstone or something. The patch fixes that glitch. Another glitch is that you cannot use the Ocarina on top of the building in Cloud Tops, like, just outside of the Palace of Winds. Remember, like, I finished the Palace of Winds and then I used the Ocarina to quickly warp to Hyrule Town. You cannot do that in the European version for whatever reason, so, patch fixes that as well. Those are the only things that the patch addresses, though. All other differences with the European version are still going to be intact. One of the differences with this fight is that these eyes take 2 hits each instead of only 1. This is actually fairly notable because, you know, during my run normally, I could just kind of recklessly stand in their path and not worry about it, but in this version, I actually have to be a little more cautious because I'm not going to just one-shot them. So, if I'm just standing recklessly in their path, swinging at them, I might get hit and lose health, which I cannot afford to lose. Also, as far as the 2-hit thing, I'm not sure, but it looked there a moment ago. I should test it now. I just hit each of those hearts once, right? So I'm going to leave them alone for a bit. Oh wait, he doesn't do that anymore, right? Never mind. But during the first phase of the fight, you'll notice he kind of drew the eyes back in. It's looking a lot like he was actually, the hearts were gaining back any damage I had done to them through that, so that's fun. Also, again, there are no pots in this room. There were pots in the US version, so you could heal. That's all the differences for this form, though. Some other glitches with the European version that I noticed, just quickly running through it and hardly doing any stuff. Normally, there's a Kinstone fusion with the King of Hyrule, and this is very easy to miss early on because, you know, less than halfway through the game, Vati kind of takes over. In the US version, it's okay if you miss it because after you meet the King of Hyrule, after you free him in the dungeon, if you leave, when you come back a bit later, like after opening the basement door, I think, or maybe, I don't know, just if you leave and come back, at some point, you know, like, Potho and the guards will be in the cell with the king. And at that point, if you missed the Kinstone fusion with the king before, you can do it there in the dungeon, it's no problem. In the US version. In the European version, you cannot fuse with the King of Hyrule inside the dungeon cell, so if you missed it during the first less than half of the game, you're permanently locked out of getting it, and you can never complete the Kinstone Fusion side quest. And this is true of the European version even after the patch, sadly. So be wary of that, I guess. And this is kind of a PSA for the European version. Another smaller thing, there's a whirlwind missing in Lon Lon Ranch, actually, and it makes it a little, just a little bit harder to get to the, like, the Cave of the Gorons. You can still get to it, it's just a little bit trickier. I feel like another difference, I mentioned all the major ones, and then I feel like there was something else I noticed. Oh, right. Another small one. It's just kind of like a details type of thing. Normally in the US version and the Japanese version. Wait, actually, I should point out something with this fight. I'm not positive of this one because I haven't like looked into the ROM and checked drop chances or anything, but honestly, just look at this. You'll remember that when I did this, when I did my run of this in the US version. Well, I'm gonna be uploading it the same day as this actually, so when you watched me do this fight in the US version, you'll notice I didn't really have problems getting, like a heart when I needed it. I don't really recall ever having problems getting hearts in this fight when I needed them. Off of, like, the dark spines and everything. But in the European version, it seems like it feels like the drop rate of hearts is really low. Like, you have no problem getting arrows, but getting hearts is another thing entirely. And that actually makes this fight a lot trickier if you can't get any hearts to heal with. Especially because there were no pots in the room before, so you had to go through the Dark Nut fight and the Vati 1 fight, both without being able to heal during either of those, and then you have really low chance of being able to heal in this fight as well. If I'm correct about that drop chance. So that does really make this a lot harder. Plus the fact that, you know, you have to be more careful dealing with the eyes in the first one. It's because of all those differences that this is actually my third take of this video. Because I kept dying at the second phase here. So, yeah, I needed a little bit more practice to actually get just a little bit better at that fight to be able to deal with those changes. It's not a big deal in a normal run, but in a 3-heart run, it makes a difference. And, again, like, that's why I'm doing it, to be fair to the people who already did this with the European version. And I'm making it a rule that, you know, from here on, people who do this challenge on the forums have to finish the game in the European version. Like, you can play the US version, it's fine, but when you get the big key in the final dungeon, you have to switch off to the European version. I'm actually providing a save file you can download in order to make that, you know, to make that switch. One other, the glitch I was going to mention, on Mount Krenel, normally when in the US version and stuff, like when you go into the Minish-sized area, like the area where you can get the Mount Krenel, like, mineral water, or the spring water, or whatever, in the US version, you know, obviously the, like, huge rocks that are falling on the normal overworld are not falling in that area, because, like, think of how giant they would have to be to a Minish. It'd be kind of hard to make that work. Except that in the European version, those rocks actually are still falling, and they're still the exact same size they are on the overworld map. Or something to that effect. It's a bit of a weird glitch there, and they fixed that in the US version, but that's a thing in the European version. I don't know of any other bugs, but it wouldn't surprise me if there's more. And then, of course, there's the differences with the final battle. There is, of course, one last difference with Vati 3. I did 2 takes of this form in the US version, and both times I got a heart off of each of the arms. Like, yeah, both times I destroyed both of the arms, both times I did the run. Each time oh crap. Each time I did that, a heart was dropped. So, I'm not positive, but it feels an awful lot like you get a guaranteed heart drop off of the arms in Vati 3 here. Oh, that goes away after a while? I never knew that. Oh, this is not going well. In the European version, like, so I'm not positive that it's a guaranteed drop and all that, but wow, I'm gonna die, aren't I? That sucks. I'm not positive it's a guaranteed drop, but in the US version, but it sure seems like it, and in the European version, I can tell you, it is definitely not a guaranteed drop. I saw Danny go through this without getting a heart off of either of the arms. I saw, or no, I don't know. I saw 2 people go through this in the European version, and I know, like, I think I saw someone get no hearts off of either of the arms, and I saw... crap. I saw someone get no hearts off of either of the arms, and I saw someone get, like, get a heart off of one of the arms, but not the other. So it's not a guaranteed drop in the European version. Whereas, again, I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure it's a guaranteed drop in the US version. So that makes this phase harder because you can't heal up after dealing with these arms, which is really a shame because it's really easy to get hit while you're dealing with this. Like, I'm probably about to get hit and die here! Okay, I didn't. Yeah, that was actually really careless of me. Okay. I'm gonna be doing the rest of this fight with half a heart, which I don't like. Okay. Gonna need the lantern. I could die at any time. It's rough in here, too, with all the stupid eyes around. Ah, get away. Oh man, I don't like this. Die, 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 die. I don't want to come back in here. Yes, okay, good. I might actually have a shot at this. I might actually have a shot at this. Yeah, see? Both times I did this fight in the US version, I got a heart off of each of those arms. Like, yeah. Like, every time I killed an arm, I got a heart. In this version, no. I killed both those arms, and I didn't get jack. So, it's clearly not a guaranteed drop. If anything, the drop rate seems rather low. That was the wrong button. I hit the speed up button instead of the cancel button. I gotta be really careful not to do that again. Oh, man. Just, yeah. I was trying to cancel my clones because I thought one of them was going to get hit by one of the electric balls. Oh no. Gotta be super careful here. Man, he's spamming that. You gonna actually... No, I hate you. Oh god, that was close. Stop doing that, seriously. Crap, I'm not gonna... Yeah, it would have been too risky to try and make that. Crap. You're a jerk, you know that? Do the thing. Yes, thank you. Oh, really? Wow. And... oh wait, that was stupid. Yeah. It's like all these things are just small little differences that wouldn't make a big difference in a normal run where you have a lot of health anyway, but yeah, in a 3-heart run, it makes things a lot more tense. Like, I would have 2 hearts right now that I don't have if I was playing the US version, I'm pretty sure. Yes! There we go. I did it in the European version. It took me 3 tries this time. It took me 2 tries in the US version, and then I kind of had it down, and now it took me 3 tries in the European version. Oh, man. There you go, though. There's some of the differences between the European version and the US version, and even the Japanese version, for that matter. And, there's my beating this boss in the European version, just in fairness to the, you know, the couple guys who already did that. Behold how fast my speed-up key works. Yay, everything's better. Monsters are gone, and everything is fixed. Bye, Eslo. So yeah, that was fun to do again. I think I got through the game in like half the time the other night, both because I knew more what I was doing this time around, and because I was using this speed-up key wherever I could. Yeah, there we go. Now the challenge is officially complete, so, once again, thanks for watching, guys, and believe it or not, I'm planning to try an even more crazy challenge, though I'm not sure if I'm going to actually make those videos public or just have them unlisted and post them to the forums. I suppose you guys can comment about how you feel about that one way or the other, but anyway, thanks for watching, and take care, guys.